That's the 25th Street corner. We have stuck flyers on to advertise my campaign for the California House of Representatives. Thanks for your help today, Tommy.
I'm glad we could join you. You deserve to be our representative.
Your English is getting a lot better, Gabrielle. But I am curious. Since you came from India, wasn't India once a British colony? So wouldn't English be a common language there? My parents were Hindu nationalists who hated everything non-Indian and non-Hindu, so they never taught me any English words. But once I reached adulthood, I figured out that my parents' bigoted attitude was no better than the attitude the British had towards India. So I rejected my parents' views, learned some English on my own, and then left to become American. I even changed my legal name, since I like the name Gabrielle more than the name my parents gave me, which English speakers found hard to pronounce. That's why I was so saddened by the bigotry I was subjected to by that guitarist Rebecca. Americans are supposed to be better than that. Well, a lot of us are not. I was myself subjected to bigotry when I was a teen. By my own father after I came out as lesbian. All peoples of the world have their own curses and demons to deal with. I see. Don't get me wrong. I am proud of my Indian and Hindu background, but I don't think it makes me superior to anyone else. That's why I was so glad to be introduced to Unitarian Universalism. I feel totally accepted among UUs.
So you want to marry me, Gabrielle?
Yes. You make me happy every day I am with you. Don't I make you happy?
Of course you'll do.
Then let me be the mother of your children, Tommy. I am ready if you are.
Actually, I want to wait on having kids. And I want us to be married for 4 or 5 years before we try to become parents. And I want us to be open to adoption as well as having kids naturally.
I understand. So how was school today, Mary? It was okay, Mommy Laura. But I am confused about something. This boy took me into a closet at school and he pulled down his pants and asked if he could put his penis between my legs. I was so horrified that I kicked him and ran away. What? And how old was this boy? He was a lot older. Almost as tall as you. He didn't look like he belonged in elementary school. More like 7th or 8th grade. And you were only 6. What would a teenage pedophile be doing at your school? We need to report this to the school principal. I'm glad he wasn't able to rape you, but we need to find out if he is doing this to other little girls. If so, he must be locked up. Mrs. Park, let me assure you that we take this matter very seriously. We just need to get the necessary information to track down this child molester before he harms another girl. Mary, you said the boy tried to corner you in a closet. Which closet? The one next to the science classroom, where all of the science supplies are stored. And can you describe the boy, what exactly he looked like? Had you ever seen him before? He was almost as tall as Mama Laura, with dark brown hair and blue eyes. He was wearing mostly yellow and was fat. He also had tattoos on his arms. I see. Mary, I'm going to show you a pic and I want you to tell me if you recognize the one in it. Yes, yes. That's the one. Thank you, Mary. Go back to class so I may discuss this with your mother privately. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Principal, how did you happen to have a pic of the pedophile on your own phone? Because that pedophile happens to be my own son, Oliver. He is 17. He was expelled from his high school last year for attempting to rape a younger girl. So I started to have him homeschooled. It never occurred to me that he would sneak out of my own house, come to my place of work, and violate one of my own students. What the hell is wrong with him? I'm not going to blame you for his actions, even though you are his mother. But now that we know what he did, he must be stopped. If you don't act now, You could lose your job.
I know. I don't understand how he turned out like this, but if your daughter is willing to testify in court, I can turn this over to the police and have them arrest my boy and take him to jail.
I can understand how difficult this must be for you. I myself was sexually violated, by my own cousin, no less, and I never told my parents about it because I thought they wouldn't believe me. Several years later, he was sent to prison for raping another girl. You actually want to run for mayor of this town? Yes. You served as mayor and you were the best one this town ever had. It would be an honor to follow in your footsteps. Then of course, you will have my support. But the next mayor's election is not for another 2 years. Plus, you would have to unseat Mike Florence, the current mayor. Carrie told me yesterday that Mr. Florence does not want to run for a second term, so that leaves the door open for me. Excuse me.
Hello, Sandy?
Yes, Simon?
I got a call from Percy Bates, warden of the prison where my brother Leonard was being held.
Did he escape?
No, he's dead. A guard found him motionless in his cell this morning. He was taken to the prison infirmary where he was pronounced dead later. They say he died of cancer. A football-sized tumor was found in one of his lungs. And no, we're not paying to give him a proper funeral or burial. The state can toss his corpse into the sea for all I care.
Thank you, Simon. So Leonard Wilson died of lung cancer today. Well, that's one less thing for us to worry about. Laura, I think you went too easy on that principal. If her son violated a girl at his own high school, he should have been jailed for it immediately, not merely given house arrest. That only enabled him to try to violate our own daughter. Principal Clark said she hoped her son could receive therapy to cure him of his mental illness that made him a rapist. I agree with Suzanne. Sexual abuse of children is so traumatizing that a harsh punishment is necessary to deal with it. Right. Plus, it's not a matter of mental illness that can be treated, but of toxic masculinity, the kind that thinks men and boys are entitled to sex with women and girls. And these creeps prey on little girls because they think the girls would be easy targets. Which is why I am so thankful that we were able to teach Mary the concept of bodily autonomy as soon as she was able to walk and talk. And of course, boys must be taught that too, so they see girls as partners and not merely objects to take advantage of. So, do you think we should take Mary out of that school to prevent another such incident? It's a call from the school.
Mrs. Park, I am calling to let you know that tomorrow I will officially resign as principal of Mary's school. I see that holding that position while having a son who is a child molester is a conflict of interest. I myself called the police and they have arrested Oliver. Now the police say they want Mary to come to the station and make a formal statement about the matter. Can you bring her to the station tomorrow?
Yes, I will bring her. Thank you for doing the right thing. I know how hard that must have been for you. Satisfied? Not yet. We must see what happens at that pervert's trial. Debbie, if you are going to run for mayor 2 years from now, I think it useful that you already have some experience in serving in government. So I can offer to resign as a member of the town's ruling council and then appoint you to take my place. Your serving as a ruling council member will help you appreciate the importance of working alongside various people in the town to achieve what is best for the town as a whole. Mother, do you agree? Yes. I am hoping that once you work alongside people like Wayne Bentley, Patty Anderson, and Mike Florence on a regular basis, you won't see them as the enemy, but simply as people who have different priorities in life and in society. In a diverse democracy, it is essential for us to learn to compromise to get things done for the good of the most people. Otherwise, we only tend to hurt others, whether we are on the far left or the far right. A balanced perspective is what works best. I understand. So I will accept Jessica's offer.
Do I have to explain how outraged I am about Carrie Sims, an atheist, a lesbian and the daughter-in-law of former Mayor Sandy Smith, becoming police chief only a few weeks after joining the police force of our town? What makes her think she can just have that position handed to her on a silver platter? She herself assaulted a cop several years ago and put him in hospital. How can a person who disrespects law enforcement be in charge of law enforcement later? And the first thing she does as police chief is suppress a protest against left-wing policies of the town. Isn't the First Amendment also part of the law? This is tyranny, I tell you, and it must be stopped. Well, I knew Annie Revolter and her husband Rush Scumbaugh would attack me sooner or later. And they are not really attacking me for anything I've done, but for what I represent. Equal rights under the law for everyone. Not just bigoted elitists like them.
She is such an idiot. Has she ever even served as a cop before? She has no business talking about corruption in the police force.
One day, Mayor Florence is visited by a representative of the Bullseye Megastore Company. So my plan is to build a new Bullseye Superstore near the center of your town. If this plan is approved, we will begin making offers to various property owners to sell what they have to us so we can tear down their property to make room for the new superstore. Does it have to be near the center of town? Why not just build one on the outskirts where there is less development? That would result in the people of one side of the town having easier access to the superstore than the other side. We want to maximize business potential for our company. Anyway, here is a map detailing our proposal. Absolutely not. I actually own one of the properties you intend to tear down, the Speedy Burgers Diner. And I won't sell my business to you just so you can replace it. How about instead of one giant store in the middle of town, you build two smaller stores on the outskirts of town? We don't think that would be best for the company. Then we have no deal. Get out. So, are you satisfied being my new partner, in business as well as in marriage?
Yes. I feel awesome now. I'm so glad that I chose you and that we can be together here. What? Look who just walked in.
Kelly, is that you?
Yes, it is. And what are you doing here, Randall? I thought after you left the town's police force I'd never see you again.
Well, I am looking for a job. So I am going around asking businesses in the town if they can hire me. Well, you will have to go elsewhere. Kelly told me all about how your relationship with her drove both of you out of the police force, so I think it's too awkward to have you here with Kelly, who is now my wife. So leave. Kelly will regret not giving me another chance.
Thank you for kicking him out. It was indeed a mistake to make him my boyfriend when we were both cops. But he was the one who insisted on that. And he was always jealous as hell. I often felt like property around him.
If you hadn't left the town when you did to move to Dallas and begin work as a pilot at DFW Airport, we wouldn't have met, so I guess I should be thankful for that mistake you and he made. But I won't let him cause us trouble. If he returns and I am not around, don't hesitate to call me. And the police.
So your ex-boyfriend showed up in town saying he was looking for work?
Yes. But I think his real intent was to try to win me back. He moved to Dallas after he left this town. If looking for work was his priority, wouldn't he be more likely to be successful in a big city like Dallas?
Of course. Come in.
Hello, my name is Randall Frankensand. Kelly, what are you doing here?
Isn't it obvious? After the stunt you pulled in my husband's tech store, I came here to talk to Carrie about you. After all, she is the police chief. She should know about you.
So you want to ruin any chance I might have of rejoining the police force? Are you that vindictive towards me?
You have no reason to be back in this town other than to harass Kelly. So you are the vindictive one. She is married and about to become a mother with her husband, so you just need to move on.
Thank you, Carrie. He did exactly what I feared he would do.
You didn't have to leave the police force just because you were pregnant. After all, you were once police chief. So you are familiar with the desk duty the police chief is expected to do. So what if I rehired you as the number 2 cop here and assigned you to mostly desk duty, freeing me to go out on patrol?
Are you sure about that? My belly is already too large to fit in my old uniform.
You don't have to wear a uniform. Most detectives don't. You can stay here and do my paperwork and only go out occasionally to help solve a critical case. I will still have the rank of police chief and you will be my top sergeant again.
All right, I accept your proposal.
Looking awesome, Kelly. Thanks for returning.
It's good to be back. And I feel safer here than I did before at the tech store. So you want me and other cops to start following this Randall around and report his activities to you?
That's right. He is not welcome in this town, and I would hope he would do the smart thing and return to Dallas. But I have a feeling he won't. Kelly is already getting a restraining order against him, and once she gets it, it will be our job to enforce it.
Understood. Trailing Randall will be our top priority.
Welcome to the Tuscany Tavern. What can we get you?
I'm actually looking for a job. May I have an application?
Sure. One moment. Carrie, you asked me to call you if that Randall guy you warned me about showed up, right? Yes, I did. Well, he is here asking for a job at the restaurant. I gave him an application, but I won't hire him. Thanks for the notice.
Just letting you know that Randall Frankens has left the Tuscany Tavern and is now heading to the Speedy Burgers Diner. Shall I continue the pursuit?
No, resume your normal duties. I have someone else who will follow him now. Debbie, do you see Randall Frankens?
Yes, he just entered the Speedy Burgers Diner.
Wait for him to emerge. I will call the mayor. Mayor Florence, the suspected stalker is now at your diner.
I have already told Sean not to hire him. Welcome to the Speedy Burgers Diner. What would you like? I'm looking for work. Are you hiring? No, we are not. We are fully staffed right now. I turned that guy away, just as you ordered. Good. I hope he gets the hint eventually.
Randall is now heading for the school. Why is he so determined to settle down in this town? He'd be far more likely to get both a job and a girlfriend in a big city like Dallas or Houston.
Something must have happened recently to trigger some kind of obsession with Kelly Grimm. We just need to keep up the pressure to drive him out of our town.
So you want to apply for a job at the school? What do you want to do? I could be a janitor, or maybe work as a cook in the cafeteria. It doesn't matter. I will take on any job I can fill. Very well, I will give you an application for you to fill out. That creep you warned me about applied for a position at my school. But of course, I will reject his application.
Thank you.
I'd like to be a construction worker. Do you have any previous experience? No, but I am a quick learner. All right. Fill out an application and we will consider you. We do need extra workers to help with the roads this season.
Carrie, he just applied to be a construction worker.
Damn it. Mr. Bullock did say he needed new workers, so I can't just tell him to not hire someone he really needs.
Well, if he is working out on the streets, and not at a business like a restaurant or grocery store, I can easily avoid him. Thanks for your help anyway.
No problem. Go home and enjoy your evening.
I promise, I will keep an eye on that guy to make sure he does his job properly. The fact is my team does need the extra help, so I can tolerate him for a while. But if he ever goes out of line, I will indeed fire him. Good. Carrie Sims, what do you think?
Mr. Bullock can provide my office the locations that Randall Franken will be assigned to work at, and then I will dispatch an officer to stay nearby in a patrol car to watch him. I just hope that will be enough to keep him away from Kelly Grimm. With the Randall situation dealt with, at least for now, I decided to move on to other things. And with good reason.
We just got a report about those two tides, Anderson and Wilson. They have now formed their own cult in prison.
A cult? What do you mean?
The report says that Wilson is claiming to be a persecuted messiah, a white savior. And he and Anderson have managed to attract a following amongst other prisoners who are white nationalists.
It is the destiny of all who stand for righteousness to be persecuted by the darkness. The powers of the leftists may dominate now, but one day, we will emerge to take back what was once ours and rule America again. And then the world. Let it be so. Let it be so. Let it be so.
Fred Owen here. I and others in the faithful remnant have come to break you fellow rebels out of prison. Come before the guards can regroup and fight back.
I knew you guys would come through for us. And that was how Ted Anderson, Ted Wilson, and George Dawson were able to break out of prison.
So you want to track down your little sister?
That's right. Her name is Tanya. My birth mother had 2 daughters, and I was the older one. I was 7 when I was finally taken from my birth mother so she could no longer abuse me. Tanya was still only a baby and thus was too young to remember how horrible our birth mother was. Tanya and I both went into the foster care system. Within a few months, a wealthy family snapped her up, and that was the last I ever heard from her. Now that I am an adult and living in Boston again, it's time to see if I can find her and know how well she is doing.
That family who took in Tanya should have also adopted you too.
Tanya and I were separated even before she was adopted, so it is possible her new family didn't even know I exist. That's why I was so glad we and our other relatives could keep the Belmont triplets together in our Texas town. They won't have to do many years later what I am attempting now. Tanya is my flesh and blood. So I think I am entitled to find out what happened to her and see if she and I could reconnect. I have learned from my adoptive family how beautiful sisterhood can be. So I just hope Tanya turned out at least as well as I have.
I understand, so I will provide you with the records of Tanya's adoption. But don't get your hopes up. She was too young to remember you, so she may not be able to develop an emotional bond with you like sisters should have.
I can at least try to have a relationship with her. It's not knowing how she is that always bothered me.
So according to the adoption records, this is where your blood sister lives. What a beautiful mansion.
Yep. Time for the moment of truth.
Hello. And who are you?
My name is Vicky. Are you Rena Parsons? And did you adopt a baby girl named Tanya about 14 years ago?
Yes, but why ask such questions of me?
Because I am Tanya's sister. I just got the records from the adoption agency about who adopted Tanya, and I wanted to see for myself how she is doing now.
I never thought we would even hear from you. And who is this man with you?
He is my husband, Paul Jenkins. Anyway, is my sister here? May I talk to her?
Before I can allow that, I think I need to explain things to you. Come inside, both of you. My husband and I couldn't have children, so we knew if we didn't adopt we would have no one to pass on our estate to, so we decided to adopt a baby. We went to the adoption agency you and Tanya were at, and they told us about both of you. And we made the decision to take only Tanya in and leave you behind.
What? But you were so rich. You could easily afford 2 kids.
I know, but after learning of your dysfunctional upbringing, we thought you were not worth the risk. We considered you to be damaged goods, and we feared that you would end up like your birth mother and maybe also be a bad influence on Tanya.
That is so unfair. What my birth mother did to me was not my fault. And I was adopted at age 12. And my family finally gave me all the love and support to make me what I am today. I am the polar opposite of my birth mother. I have and want nothing to do with her.
So how is Tanya?
She is fine, but we never told her she has a sister, and we also told her that her birth mother died soon after she was born. If she was ever to find out the truth, she would be devastated and lose all trust in me. Like I said, we never expected to see you, Vicky. And something else you should know. I was the reason my husband and I were childless before adopting Tanya. 2 years after the adoption, my husband impregnated another woman and then left me for her. So Tanya is all I have now. I can't bear the thought of losing her.
Oh, my God. What are we going to do?
This whole dilemma could have been avoided had Tanya been told the truth from the beginning. And you, Miss Parsons, were wrong to think Vicky was unfit to be your daughter. She is a wonderful lady, and the best thing I ever did was get married to her. I knew what she came from and accepted her as she was. She overcame her past, and I will always be proud of her for that.
I think we have heard enough. Let's go. Wait. Are you really my sister Vicky? Yes. And you are Tanya. So, you heard what your mother said? Yes. And I am torn apart inside. To think that my adoptive mother lied to me about our birth mother and about you. I don't know what to think now. Is her love for me even real? I should have known of you. Well, you can know of me now. And maybe you should forgive your mother. She must have thought she was doing the right thing, both in rejecting me and hiding the truth from you. And turning against her won't make things better for you. So we can keep this a secret and your mother won't know we just had this talk, okay? I agree. And thank you. Maybe someday we can be actual sisters once we are both old enough. Yes. Maybe someday. But not today.
So Ted Wilson, Ted Anderson and George Dawson have all escaped from prison?
Yes. According to the report we just got, the prison was actually invaded by a dozen members of the faithful remnant which came specifically to free those men. 3 guards were killed, and a riot erupted once most of the other prisoners realized what was happening. That riot was eventually put down, but by then the invaders and the ones they sought to free were long gone.
Oh my God, this is insane. I am so glad I rejected the supports of the faithful remnant when I was running for mayor. If I had accepted them, my own credibility would be ruined now. Put out an APB on all 3 of those men. They will not be welcome in this town ever again.
Whitney and Charlie, I came as soon as I heard. How is your grandmother now?
We don't know yet. She suddenly collapsed and our daughter Janet was screaming, "Grandma fell, Grandma fell." Even while blind, she knew something was terribly wrong with my grandmother. So we rushed her to hospital.
Miss Owen, I have bad news. Your grandmother suffered a massive heart attack and her heart is too damaged to last much longer. Dr. Farris has confirmed the diagnosis. Her coronary blockages were left untreated for too long. But she wants to talk to you one more time before she goes. Come see her now.
Whitney, I'm so sorry you had to see me like this. But I knew I was having heart problems long before I came to you. But I had already decided that if I was going to die, it should be with you rather than my sons, who are just like their idiot father. I don't know if there is a heaven to go to anymore, but the thought of sharing you with my ex-husband, it makes me not want to go there.
Don't be so bitter. Grandfather actually repented his past mistakes and commended me for standing up to him and telling him what I thought of him. It is because of him that I got the mansion you have spent your last months that. So maybe he was truly saved in the end.
Perhaps. But I want you to promise me one thing before I go.
What is it?
You must do everything you can to destroy your grandfather's legacy. That so-called faithful remnant my sons helped found is a mockery of everything that Jesus taught. It must be destroyed before more people are hurt by it. No more women should have to suffer as I did decades ago with your grandfather.
I was already committed to that goal, but I am glad you agree with me. Grandmother. So my plan is to bring my grandmother's remains back to this mansion and then bury her in the backyard right beside Jennifer Wilson. Both of them were victims of the patriarchy, though in different ways. I hope that is acceptable to you. Yes. But what about your other relatives, including your father and uncle? Will they be coming? Absolutely not. Grandmother disowned them while she was still alive, so they should not be allowed to come and pay their respects to her now that she is dead.
I and some other cops can provide security for your grandmother's memorial service. Will it be held here or at the UU Church?
Here, please. And thanks for the offer, Carrie. Now what?
Whitney, this is your father. I just heard that my mother is dead, and you didn't have the decency to give me a call to tell me directly. I had to find out about it from a Facebook post.
First of all, you shouldn't be able to call me. I blocked you, remember?
Yes, so that's why I am using someone else's phone to contact you. As your grandmother's next of kin, I should be the one to make plans to bury her, not you.
No. Grandmother disowned you, just as I did, so you have no claim to her. And what's this I hear about you and others in the faithful remnant staging a jailbreak last week? Are you insane? Don't ever talk to me about law and order again.
The Faithful Remnant is now officially a terrorist organization. Over the next few weeks, they stage raids at prisons in more than a dozen states, freeing prisoners who are members of the alt-right and recruiting them into their movement. Eventually, they gather at an isolated building in a rural area of Idaho to discuss plans for an armed rebellion against the federal government. We came so close to achieving our goals from 2024 to 2028, but then our greatest champion, Donald Trump, was forced out of office, and after him the leftists took over, seducing millions of younger voters into supporting them, causing a massive blue wave that brought down the Republicans. We white male Christians once ruled the United States, and we will rule it again. We can start by overthrowing the government of a state and taking it over to build a theocratic empire, and then persuade other states to join us willingly and conquer other states who are reluctant to embrace our vision. It's either that or we lose our way of life forever and then we are ruled by atheists, leftists and other sinners. So what state should be our target for the takeover? There are several good options. South Carolina has always been a hotbed of right-wing activity. It was the first state to secede from the Union in 1860, prompting several other states to follow suit, leading to the American Civil War. There is also Texas, which was once its own country, the Republic of Texas, and it was one of the states which joined the Confederacy during the Civil War. It has a large population, is still quite red, and has a strong industrial base. Then there are also states like Montana, Idaho, and Colorado, which are in the Rocky Mountain region. A rebellion staged there would be difficult for the federal government to put down due to the terrain hindering the movement of troops. The problem is that they also have small populations. So our forces raised up would be limited and our rebellion could still be easily crushed. Utah is a very red state and is dominated by the Mormon Church, which shares most of our conservative values. And the Mormon Church is extremely rich. If we persuade the Mormon leaders to back us, we are more likely to win. We can persuade the Mormon leaders by telling them they can bring polygamy back if they can break Utah from the Union.
All right, I will contact the Mormon leaders to make them an offer. Texas is still the best option, I think. It is my home state, its capital, Austin, is a hotbed of liberalism in an otherwise conservative state, and so is that town I was once mayor of. If I could, I would lead an army there tomorrow and raze that place to the ground. We should make a clear example of it so no other towns will be tempted to follow its path. Debbie Smith, congratulations on being appointed to the ruling council to replace Jessica Sims. I have accepted her resignation, But you still must stand for election this fall to keep the seat.
I understand. I will file my candidacy at City Hall next week.
Let's begin discussions on the budget for this year. I have several proposals to offer. I've just looked at your proposals and they would make public spending too large. Didn't I say repeatedly that paying down our town's public debt should always be a priority?
I agree with Mr. Bentley. No more budget increases and no more tax hikes. Period. Don't fix what isn't broken.
Here we go again. Let's work this out, shall we? Debbie, Carrie, and the others associated with the America for All web-based news podcast now have a discussion about the new danger posed by the transformation of the faithful remnant into a direct threat to the rest of American society.
Reports are coming out of armed militia groups assembling in many states, including Texas. I'm really worried we are heading towards another civil war.
Well, of course. Why do you think the NRA and others in the gun lobby oppose even the most reasonable efforts at gun control? It's because they want the bigoted extremists to be able to launch a rebellion to destroy the rest of us.
Laura and Suzanne in Los Angeles, what do you think? Having been raised in that kind of extremist environment, including having a father who was bigoted enough to both hate me and to become a criminal, I now consider it a blessing to be lesbian. I was forced to humble myself and look for real love instead of just being content with my Christian-based privilege in life. Would I have been just as horrible as my father and as the members of the faithful remnant? The very idea makes me want to vomit now.
I grew up in the exact same religious environment as Laura, and I am straight, but I didn't turn out bigoted.
And I was raised Pentecostal, which is even more cult-like than most Baptists, but I also changed as I grew up.
I actually read most of the Bible for myself because I wanted to be the best Christian I could be. And I realized that to be like Jesus, I had to reject conservatism among Christians just as he rejected conservatism among Jews. What Reverend Dave Owen had taught me in church were lies. Once I came to see atheists and LGBT people like Debbie and Carrie as fellow human beings, I saw I had no reason to hate them. Nicholas Owen now gives a speech to the militia forces of the faithful remnant gathered in Idaho. My fellow Americans, for most of you, even while free, you have watched in horror as your tax dollars have been taken from you by a greedy federal government and then largely given away to special interests, including welfare payments to lazy homeless bums and illegal aliens, as well as to various countries in an attempt to buy their loyalty. But they don't give a damn about the hardworking, loyal, white, English-speaking Christian Americans that have always been here. These violations of our dignity must end. We must always come first. As president of the faithful remnant, I will lead us to victory. I and others in my planning committee have agreed to launch an attack on the city of Austin, the capital of Texas. Once we capture that city, I will install Ted Anderson as the new president of an independent Republic of Texas, and then we will look forward to conquering other states, until finally we capture Washington, D.C. We will crush the subversive forces making America woke, and instead make it a superpower the rest of the world will respect and fear from then on. The Lord is surely on our side, for we act in His name. With Him behind us, who can stand against us? Amen. But not everyone at the meeting is happy about what is happening, including Don Dacron, the former oil company executive who was imprisoned for his corrupt actions in business.
This is certainly not what I signed up for. I am a businessman above all else, and I don't care who I do business with, whether Christian or atheist, white or black, or what country he comes from, as long as my dealings are profitable. Those idiots will ruin my chances at becoming a billionaire.
Don Dacron, come with us. Soon you will have your chance to get revenge on the ones who locked you up.
I'm coming. The faithful remnant has established a base of operations in Idaho and is preparing to attack Austin, and then take over Texas.
When will this attack be?
About a week from now.
And why would someone as corrupt as Mr. Dacron want to rat out the faithful remnant?
First, people can change. Maybe his being locked up in prison really taught him a lesson. Second, even a greedy bastard like him would understand that a war is not good for business, due to the massive death and destruction it causes. Now that we know what is going to happen, we must alert the state and federal authorities. That will ensure there will be only one battle in this civil war. A battle the enemy will lose.
A couple of days later, at an army base near the Texas border with Louisiana.
Private Watson, we just received new orders from the Pentagon. We are to mobilize our forces and go to Austin. Apparently the city is about to be attacked by a militia of crazed extremists.
Let me guess. That so-called faithful remnant I've heard so much about?
That's right. So let's get moving. Soon you will have your chance to prove yourself in combat. I won't be surprised, however, if you turn coward and run away. And then I'd have you sent back to prison.
You underestimate me, Sergeant. I am actually eager to take on those self-righteous bastards and help crush them.
After weeks of preparation, the leaders of the faithful remnant are ready to begin their planned revolution and civil war.
Fred, our forces are about to leave Idaho. Are you ready?
Yes! My group waiting near Amarillo will join you as soon as you enter Texas.
The group I command in Arizona will proceed to Texas now. The group I lead in Iowa are on their way now.
The group I am leader of in Mississippi are coming now.
My group in South Dakota are leaving now to link up with you.
Great! We will all gather together at Amarillo, Texas, and then rush to Austin as one mighty army. The day of America's redemption has come.
All the members of the town's police department, the fire department, and the town road construction crew are here, Mayor Florence.
Good. I will address the people now. Attention all of you. As mayor, I have called this gathering because our home state is in danger. An invading force is planning to attack the capital city of Austin to take Texas over. I was among the first to be warned of this threat, and so I call upon you all now to follow me to Austin to help defend the city. Our freedom is now at stake, and I want us all to fight for that freedom to prove our commitment to our democracy and the U.S. Constitution. Are you all with me?
I am with you, Mayor.
What? I came here to do road work. I wasn't expecting to go to war.
If you don't want to fight, you may leave. But you won't have a job with
My firm starting tomorrow. No one around here respects cowards.
Thanks for getting rid of him. One last thing for me to worry about. Carrie, since I am pregnant, shouldn't I sit this one out too?
Of course. Unlike Randall, you have a valid reason to opt out, so go and spend the rest of the day with your husband. Those of you who do not have guns will receive them from my department, and then we will quickly train the rest of you on how to use them. Most of these will be standard issue rifles, the kind normally used for hunting, but some will be handguns for the paramedics and others to allow them to defend themselves.
Hey, is there room for more to join your militia group? I and others from the local high school are volunteering to take part in this battle.
And also me and Simon Wilson. We want to join up too.
Farmer Wilfred Giant reporting for duty. I have my own gun too, and I will follow your command, Mayor Florence. It looks like we will have a good turnout for the upcoming battle. Police Chief Sims, you are responsible for overseeing the training of these recruits. And we have just one day to do it. Tomorrow, we ride to Austin.
Yes, sir?
So you say this militia group, which is loyal to the federal government, will arrive here soon to join us?
That's right, General Bradley. Mayor Florence himself is organizing it now.
Ask him when this group is to come. Carrie Sims says training of the volunteers will take a day, so we will proceed to Austin tomorrow.
Good. I will tell the general.
We appreciate the willingness of your people to volunteer to defend this city, but I hope we don't actually have to use them. We will put them in a support position in the rear after they arrive and deploy them only as a last resort.
I understand. Many of those people are my friends, and one is my daughter-in-law, so of course I worry about them. I can't believe my wife, and your daughter, is about to go off to fight in the war. Maybe I am selfish, but I can't bear the thought of losing her. Let's not assume the worst yet, Debbie. She and the others from our town may not even have to fight at all.
In any case, we should both be proud of her for standing up for what's right and doing her duty to the people. And when she returns, she will be honored as a hero.
Trigger warning, this episode is full of extreme violence.
I was always willing to fight and even die for those I love and the things I believe in, ever since I was a teen. But now, my convictions were being put to the ultimate test, and I knew that this was my destiny. Carrie Sims. Mayor Florence, I have finished training the militia members, and we are ready to march at your command.
The command is given. Let us leave town and head for Austin now.
George Dawson, what the hell are you doing here?
The faithful remnant broke me and others out of prison, then told us they wanted to make an army out of us to start a revolution. But I never wanted to join any army, so I deserted and made my way back here.
That's because you were a coward. Just like your father. And you belong in prison.
And Nadine's two vengeful daughters, Rose and Hermine, also come out and attack their brother.
Not only can I see now, but I am a lot bigger, tougher, and meaner than in the past. I am actually grateful you came here so I can punish you personally for all the despicable things you did.
And after George is beaten down by the other Dawsons, they force him into their car and take him to the police station, where he is booked and jailed by Kelly Grimm.
Wow, they really made a mess of you, didn't they?
Can you please send me back to prison? I don't ever want to deal with my mother or sisters again. And at least in prison I can get 3 meals a day and a place to sleep.
Sure, that can be arranged.
So these are the militia forces you have brought? Yes, General, over 100 strong.
Since you are willing to defect from and oppose the goals of the faithful remnant, I can act as your attorney in court and make a case for you to be granted a pardon for your past crimes. But that doesn't mean I intend to personally forgive and forget what you did in the past against us.
I understand. But you have my word that in the future, I won't engage in such corrupt activities as I was known for. I will both obey the law and observe fair and honest business practices if I am given another chance to be a businessman again.
Very well. But I will be watching.
General, we have spotted the enemy. They are traveling in hundreds of cars, trucks, and other vehicles. They just left Amarillo.
Can you estimate the number of the enemy forces?
At least several thousand. We've got a major battle on our hands.
Understood. Return to base immediately. Attention. All regular army forces in Austin will now deploy along the highway leading out of the city to the north. Prepare to engage the faithful remnant militia. Mayor Florence, I will have your militia stationed in front of the Texas Capitol building as a last line of defense if the faithful remnant somehow breaks through my army defense line. You will be joined by the Austin Police Department and some members of the National Guard that live here. Understood. The battle only lasts a few hours, but thousands on both sides are killed or wounded. In the end, the faithful remnant is routed. When Ted Wilson, who fully expected Austin to be taken easily, realized the battle was lost on his side, he took the gun he was carrying and shot himself to death with rather than allow himself to be captured and returned to prison. No, I will not end up like my father. What happened? We should have won. We must have been betrayed by one of our own. The US Army knew we were coming. We must. I've been shot. Nicholas. Oh my god, I've lost him. No! Hit too.
Such morons dare to be wearing those red hats, making them such easy targets from above. Keep shooting at those terrorists. Eventually, most of the faithful remnant militia survivors are rounded up, disarmed and put into a prison camp.
I am so thankful that my people were not placed in harm's way today. Me too, but the fact that they were willing to come here and fight with us proves they are heroes. Now return to your town and celebrate our victory there.
So you and Simon had to identify the bodies of Ted Wilson, Ted Anderson and Nicholas Owen?
Yes. At long last, those arch enemies of ours have been defeated for good. The disgrace that Ted Wilson and his father Leonard have caused the Wilson family and our town is finally over.
I agree, even as relatives. They were horrible people, and I am glad they are no more. Now we can proceed to make things better for us in generations to come. Well, Private Watson, it seems I was wrong about you. You certainly proved yourself a capable fighter today. So I am going to personally recommend that you receive a pardon for your past crimes. If you get that, you will be free to leave the army. Though I'd hope you stay after what I saw from you. We can use more like you, really. Thank you, Sergeant. That means a lot coming from you.
The day after the Battle of Austin, the members of the town's militia return home in triumph, and the entire town throws a massive celebration to welcome their heroes back.
Welcome home.
I trust everything went smoothly in our absence?
About as smoothly as you might expect with a dozen screaming kids here. I'm kidding. James, Whitney, Deborah and I handled everything well enough.
I have to admit that nothing could have prepared me for what I faced this past week. But I did what I felt was necessary.
You have certainly proven yourself a man of integrity, both as a business owner and as a mayor. Even as your competition, I always respected you. More so now than ever.
Uncle Wayne, I'm so glad you are safe.
But not everyone feels like celebrating.
I swore to my grandmother before she died that I would destroy my grandfather's legacy, but even I never expected things to end the way they did, with my father dead and my Uncle Fred now locked up awaiting trial for insurrection. I just wish things could have been different. That my father and grandfather had not been so delusional and ignorant.
They made their choices, just as we did. Be thankful that they didn't bring down our whole civilization due to their madness. With a faithful remnant now broken completely, we can move forward again.
We just have to accept that the old values that we grew up with won't work for the younger people and were likely never just to begin with.
Yes. We must learn from the past, but also change enough to grow into a better future.
That Sunday, the Reverend Emily Denton gives a sermon at her Unitarian Universalist Church that puts the whole issue of the recent rebellion in context.
Jesus said in Matthew chapter 7, verses 21 through 23, "Not everyone who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. Many will say to me on that day, 'Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name, and in your name drive out demons, and in your name perform many miracles?' Then I will tell them plainly, 'I never knew you. Away from me, you evildoers.'" The leaders of the faithful remnant claimed to be serving God. But in fact they were serving themselves, because to truly serve God you must seek the highest good for the most people. What good can there be in overthrowing a peaceful democracy and trying to replace it with rule by tyrants who seek power by violence and want to exclude those they see as inferior? That's what the Nazis did in Germany, and we all know what they led to in less than a decade. Claiming to do God's will is pointless if you destroy people who simply want to live their own lives in peace. We must always seek to do better, not just look superior to others. Even as an atheist, that is a teaching from the Bible I can get behind.
Absolutely. Obey the golden rule with regards to everyone and you won't go wrong.
The end. Maybe.